Oh no. Okay, here we go.
Is it working now?
Welcome into WDSR Duquesne Student Radio. I am Christian Bartoletti alongside my co-host Ben Giannetta. It is Wednesday, November 13th, and because it is Wednesday at the top of the 2 p.m. hour, you know what that means. We are doing NFL Weekly Pick'em for what I believe is NFL Week 11, which is crazy. We're already this far into the season. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, kind of sucks.
What, that we're almost done with football
Yeah.
season?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Flying.
you've got college football playoffs taking over a lot of the bulk of football talk, which is cool. We might do a show on that later. Who knows? But as of now, we're going to keep it to NFL, and we're going to start with the Commanders-Eagles game tomorrow night, prime time, Amazon Prime Video, 8:15 kickoff. This is going to be a big game.
Yeah, I mean, and nobody would have, at the beginning of the season, nobody would have thought this would be a good game. Everybody thought Eagles are just going to blow out the Commanders because they're going to suck. But
Yep.
Commanders are coming in 7-3, fresh off a loss to the Steelers. But I do have a gut feeling here that the Commanders are going to win this game.
See, that's what's so tough for me is that that Commander-Steelers game was exactly what I wanted, but not at all what I expected. and I don't know. It was like it's really tough to get a read on this Commanders team because like why did you almost lose to the Bears? Like why did it take some second coming of a
Okay,
miracle
you know what? It's
crazy
The Bears are not like
a bad team?
roster wise. They're not. Their coaching awful. They should fire Eberflus. They should have fired him before
You
the
know they
season.
fired their OC.
Yeah, why? I don't know why they didn't fire Eberflus. The guy's an awful coach.
There's a lot of stuff surrounding the Bears too, which is crazy because allegedly this is like reports from like an opinion column in Chicago, but
Yeah,
where the
how
reports are
reliable is that?
yeah, right. Reports are that some of the players on the team want Williams benched and they want to see Bajent get an uptick in play.
There's no way that is true. Like, I understand that Caleb Williams is not playing well, and as the number 1 overall pick, the second coming of Tom Brady, you should be playing well, but he's not being set up for success. Like, that offensive line, terrible. The coaching, terrible. Like, he's got good skill positions, like, and he should still be producing, but that doesn't excuse him playing, like, awful. Like, he should still be producing.
And it's the same thing in like Cleveland, I think, where it's like you have to value your offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw with, and this is like a stretch here, but the Bengals, and I wanted to go back to this because this was my opinion coming into the Jamar Chase draft. I said that it was either going to be Jamar Chase with Joe Burrow or it was going to be Penei Sewell.
Yeah, it was the meme. It was like, can Joe Burrow get the ball quick enough to Jamar Chase so he doesn't get sacked, or Joe Burrow's going to have an infinite amount of time, but he won't have anybody to throw to.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing in the NFL is that you have to place a value on your offensive line, and you need the time to develop your pass. And
Yeah,
Caleb Williams and the Bears, and even before Caleb Williams with Justin Fields and the Bears, they haven't had it. The Commanders and the Eagles both known for their predominantly decent offensive lines. Obviously, the Commanders.
Yeah, more so the Eagles.
Yeah, for sure. But the Commanders coming off of that game against the Steelers, they looked pretty competent with their pass game. You know, obviously they didn't put as many points up on the board through like with passing as they probably could have or should have. But at the end of the day, they didn't do enough technically to win. But that was a really close game, and there's a lot about it that it's tough to evaluate this Commanders team just because of, like I said, with the Bears almost lost. But they are 7-3, so they obviously are a decent football team. I would not call them front runners or favorites for Super Bowls. They could be a contender. I think that's fair enough to assume. But you don't think they're contenders at all?
No, like I think they'll lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I just want to get one thing out of the way. Can we cut Jason Newton, please?
No, dude,
Let's cut
Johnny
him.
Newton's
I'm
not
just-
even
I'm
that
ju-
bad.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
but
kidding.
bad play. I felt bad for him honestly because did you see him crying?
No, but
Which
like,
is like, why do you feel bad for him? But I did.
everybody
I
in
felt
that
for the guy.
stadium knew it was a hard count.
Yeah.
Everybody knew the Steelers weren't going to snap that ball.
You know, that's the funny thing too is that so I was watching this game live with Molly, and I was out of it because I've just been battling demons, but. Whenever I was watching this,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, dude, I was on an ayahuasca darkness retreat, catapulted into my room, and I saw 7 different versions of myself, and they all were like, I don't know, hunched over, dying. But watching watching this game, they come out on 4th and 1, and I was like, oh, what are we doing?
Yeah, this is
like
stupid.
Tomlin,
This is stupid.
what the heck? Because we tried, or I shouldn't say we. Sorry, Steelers tried the fake punt, and whatever happened with that, the fake punt, whatever happened there. But that's a Sopranos reference. I don't think you got that one, but
I've never watched The Sopranos.
okay, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. So we saw what happened with the fake punt, and there was a lot of shots that they took in that game, and you're thinking, oh, this is an aggressive Steelers offense. When do we see that? And I thought, oh, 4th and 1, dude, I can definitely see Najee Harris getting stuffed line of scrimmage, getting the ball turned over at the 50-yard line, and then we go down and lose the game off of some stupid crap. But, yeah, I don't know. I honestly, obviously, hindsight 2020, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly do believe, though, that they would have come out, tried the hard count, and then snapped the ball anyways.
Oh, I
feel like
did not think they were going to do that.
I feel like they would have snapped the ball anyways.
I
like,
think Tomlin's a better coach than that. I think he knows.
what they normally do is that they come out and they do the hard count, and then they let the clock hit 0 or 1. They call a timeout. Or they take the penalty.
Or they take the penalty, yeah.
Right. But I feel like 2 seconds left, Russ would have snapped it, handed the ball off, and then you live with what you have. And I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I'm happy with the result and what happened, but it's tough to lose the game in that situation if you're the Commanders and you're coming against the Eagles, and this Eagles team is on a tear right now, and they've got all their guys back.
Yeah, and to be honest, they didn't look terribly impressive against the Cowboys. And the score was just we called
Kenny
that,
Pickett was in the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
and Trey Lance was in the game.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And we knew because the Cowboys were just that bad.
Yeah, and they are.
On Sunday.
Dumpster fire.
And I don't think that it was because that the Eagles played absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts, he played okay. I mean, that interception, what was it, in the end zone or something like that?
I didn't even.
He threw a pick in the first quarter, something like that. It was pretty bad. I thought he played pretty well after that. I think that this Eagles team is good, but I think that I think they're a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
That's my only problem with them.
I feel like that's what you get out of most. I don't know if you could say apart from the Chiefs, because they've been consistently on offense, and they still win games.
I think the Bills are pretty consistent.
I would say the Ravens are consistent as well.
I don't know, because what happened with that Browns
game? The defense?
What about that Browns game?
Their defense.
I understand that, but still, you should be able to score more points.
This is a crazy mashup. I don't know how this happened. It was Marlon Humphrey and Deshaun Elliott were on a podcast, and I feel like it was they were
teammates.
A couple days ago. Coming into this game this week, they were on the same podcast, and it was Marlon Humphrey's podcast. I don't know how old the clip was, but it was like a week or so, and they were like, "You guys, I saw something about your defense." This is Deshaun Elliott speaking to Marlon Humphrey. He said, "I saw something about the Ravens' defense. You guys are first against the run." He's like, "Yeah, we're nice against the run," Marlon Humphrey said. And then Deshaun Elliott was like, "But y'all are 32nd against the pass." He's like, "Oh." And Marlon Humphrey's the corner.
Yeah, it's like, you don't do anything in the run game. That's what the safeties and linebackers do. Yeah,
and then it's like, oh yeah, well, there's that part of it, and that's where you see the inconsistency. That I agree with what you're saying, that they aren't consistent. I think their offense is consistently good.
I think that Saquon makes it consistently good because he has just been crazy this year. I think that Jalen Hurts is a little inconsistent. Sometimes you're going to get a very, very good game out of him, very clean. And then another game, he's gonna throw 2 picks.
But they have 2 guys. Well, maybe not 2. They have at least one guy who's fighting for Defensive Rookie of the Year in Quinion Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean has played really well, well in his because he started out injured and then he got a little bit of playing time and he did what he could with that playing time, and then ever since they've been giving him more and more snaps, he's been playing better and better. I think you're gonna see Washington's the underdog. They're plus 165, so they're not expecting super tight, but they're still saying that it'll be a decent game. Yeah, I think there is a world where the Commanders win this game. I don't think we live in it though.
Okay,
I'm gonna take the Eagles, which I think you're with me on.
No,
I don't know.
I'm gonna take the Commanders.
Oh, really? You want to upset here?
Yeah, I like the way Jaden Daniels played against the Steelers. I like him. That connection to Terry McLaurin is just dangerous.
And Brian Robinson, is he going to be playing this week? Because I know he was out against the Steelers, but I think we had him as questionable on our injury report.
Yeah,
and so he could be back, but I don't. It's a quick turnaround from a Sunday to a Thursday game.
Yeah, but I mean, also they're going to get Marshawn Lattimore.
Fair.
Which is kind of a big
reason why you need that because they're calling for St. Juste's head in Washington.
I mean, Russell Wilson got to the point was like, you know what, screw it. George Pickens is down there somewhere.
Yeah, and most of the time it was on St. Juste's head, and that's what we were talking about.
The game winner was on St. Just, wasn't it? Yeah,
the Mike Williams catch. Yeah, but I was in every single Commanders comment section just to see what they were thinking about it because it was such a good game, and I mean, obviously, like everyone's kind of saying that Steelers are getting the hype train blowing around them, and I'm trying to figure out if it's all smoke or if the Steelers are for real, as are you. The Commanders win was obviously a big one, but I wanted to see what the Commanders fans thought, and it was all like, Johnny Newton, you're cool, like you're a rookie, we get it, like you played your heart out, whatever. You gave it your best effort. Sucks that that's how we lost, but this game's really on St. Juice. I want BSJ gone, ship him back to France, all this other coming at him crazy.
Get back to France.
Yeah, yeah, they were coming at his neck crazy, and that's really just an inconsistency in coverage. And you're saying with Lattimore, and I agree that he's been that coverage guy ever since he really started. Eagles, Commanders, we're split here. Total is 48.5.
We're both taking the over, right?
That's what I was thinking,
okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too, is that I've said this a lot, and the Thursday Amazon primetime games have been dog crap to watch.
I mean, apart from last week, because last week was the Bengals and the Ravens, which was
35 whatever.
That was a great game.
Yeah, a lot of offensive scoring. But
but hold on, and you had the Bucks and the Falcons a couple weeks ago. That game went into overtime. But,
okay. Well, I mean, maybe I didn't mean it just in the sense that it's I don't know if it's a boring game or it's just hard to watch. Like that Texans-Lions game was kind of hard to watch.
No, I was having so much fun. That was really fun to watch.
I didn't even watch the first half.
I have no skin in the game. I don't care who wins. That was a fun game to watch.
Just a lot of the turnover bowl.
Many turnovers.
Yeah, in the first half. We're moving into Sunday, and there's no overseas game, so all this it starts at 1 p.m. I'm gonna take the Ravens, Steelers. Geez, first.
Okay.
My goodness. Obviously, I said obviously, but I don't know why I said that. Obviously, the Ravens are the favorites. But oh my gosh, this next one's hilarious. All right. Pittsburgh plus 145. The total line is 47.5 points scored. Ravens come into it 7-3, looking to take the number one spot in the AFC North. The Steelers have it currently by a half a game. I don't know. I think you can't call it one game. It's a half.
Yeah, because
it's
Ravens are 7-3, Steelers are 7-2.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. This obviously we have our Friday show, 2 to 3 same time. Tune in Friday for the full Steeler pregame.
Yeah, we will really get into this game.
Yeah, but just to dive surface level here, two great teams with very
similar defenses.
Yeah, and great defenses as well.
Yeah.
And you've got a pretty young team with older pieces in the Steelers, and then you've got the Ravens with an MVP frontrunner, Offensive Player of the Year frontrunner in Derrick Henry. You've got the newest addition to their team, which is a former Pittsburgh Steeler, Deontay Johnson, who Tomlin came out in the news and already said, Deontay Johnson, haven't watched a lot of film on him, but haven't needed to because, and this is not verbatim, but essentially what the comment was around Tomlin was that I haven't watched a lot of stuff on Deontay Johnson because I haven't needed to. He hasn't been a focal point of their offense, is essentially what he said.
Disrespect.
In a way, yeah, but
I
also...
he was gonna say, I don't need to watch film because he was on my team for 4 years.
No.
That's why I thought he was going with that.
He did. He said that he hasn't watched...
Because he sucks.
Not even that, just because he hasn't... I think what he was meaning is that he hasn't had... I don't know if you want to say memorable snaps or meaningful snaps. He hasn't gotten in the game and done anything productive. You focus more on Bateman and Flowers in the passing offense, or Andrews in the passing offense, as he's kind of had a resurgence because he started off
it's
very slow.
It's going to be funny if he has a good game.
Yeah, and I honestly wouldn't put it past the Ravens just to try to scheme things up for him so he could have a revenge game. As far as the matchup goes, the Steelers in recent history have had a lot of trouble covering athletic and good tight ends. We saw it a lot with the Gronkowski years, where the Steelers and the Patriots, that they were battling in the AFC for who would get the top spot there, and Gronkowski just literally dominated any Steeler coverage guy because there's nobody big enough to handle him, and then nobody fast enough to stay with him. Andrews is not Rob Gronkowski, but he is definitely not the sixth offensive lineman like Darnell Washington that they tried to put him into the mold, like an honorary left tackle or whatever they tried to say about him. He is definitely a good receiving threat, and I don't know what's going on with Likely because he was the guy that they also talked about being a receiving threat and as a tight end. But I mean, I feel like his name has dropped off as Andrews has exploded. And
you're right. It's kind of hard to
have two receiving tight ends.
It's just. It's hard because you also have
receivers,
and then you've also got Derrick Henry. There's just so many mouths that you can feed.
Yep, and that's the problem that I think that the Steelers are going to face is, and this is funny, is that everyone talks about how good the Steelers have been against the Ravens and how good the Steelers have been against Derrick Henry, because you can be good against the Ravens, but the Ravens haven't had Derrick Henry. But you also looked at whenever he was in Tennessee, the Steelers did good against stopping him, and they are good against primarily power backs because they have the power up front. It's the speedy guys that you can't track down that they have problems with. But you also only have, I would say, one or two linebackers that play off ball that can not only keep up, but also be able to have the stopping power with Derrick Henry. That's Elandon Roberts, who you're going to see, I think, a lot of in this Steelers game. Elandon Roberts is the primary run stuffer for the Steelers. He's the more, if you want to think of like a 1970s, 80s Steelers linebacker, he's the guy. He's not a hybrid. Pat Queen, more of your hybrid where he can play. He could be a safety if he needed to, but he has the size of a linebacker because he's so fast. And Peyton Wilson. Elandon Roberts and Peyton Wilson are my two guys that I think you're going to see being the only two guys that can really, really stop Derrick Henry. If Pat Queen meets Derrick Henry one-on-one in the hole,
he's not winning.
I'd love to be wrong.
He's not winning.
But I'm with you. I think that Derrick Henry falls forward for 3 to 4 yards if he even falls onto the ground. It'll be a lot of trying to rally down the field. Obviously, Cam Hayward has had an amazing year so far, coming off of a multi-sack game against the Commanders. I'm going Steelers.
Okay. I am going to go with the Ravens.
I know. Yeah, I expected it.
Yeah, I'm just...
You've picked against them a lot now, and you've been burned a lot now.
I have. I think, though, I don't think I've been right the last couple weeks. Like, last week...
The Steelers games have been doing you in.
I was wrong. Against the...
Jets, probably... Yeah.
I was wrong against the Jets.
I don't think you picked the Giants over the Steelers.
I did pick the... Wait, okay. If I go back, I did pick the Cowboys. No. Wait, did I pick the Cowboys? I don't remember if I picked the Cowboys.
Well, you've been right on that one, but yeah.
No, I did pick the Steelers, and they lost. So how about that? And then the week after that, I did pick them against the Raiders. That was an easy one. And then I had them against the... I did pick the Jets, and they beat the Jets. And then I picked the Giants, and they beat the Giants.
And you picked the Commanders.
And then I picked the Commanders, and they beat the Commanders. But I'm going to do it one more time. I'm just going to do it one more time. I like the way Lamar's playing.
Yeah.
Like he is looking like...
And I won't argue with you.
Brady kind of quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Like he's not using his legs as much as, we would expect Lamar Jackson to use his legs. He's throwing dimes out there. Great completion percentage. He's throwing touchdowns after touchdowns.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because he's got that run game that he can rely on where he doesn't have to manufacture that run game.
Yeah. And it burns my soul, too, because I think little 14-year-old me DM'd the Steelers on Instagram, and it was the year that the Steelers took Terrell Edmonds.
Did you want them to take Lamar Jackson?
Yes. I said, please draft Lamar Jackson. Please. Like, draft Lamar Jackson. He's the GOAT.
Dude, I wanted them to draft Jalen Hurts the year they took Claypool.
I was with you on that as well.
Me and my dad were like, why did they take Claypool?
I'm with you on that one as well. And funny enough, the TJ Watt year, I DM'd them and said take TJ Watt. So I've been all in. My draft picks.
Just go apply for a job.
Dude, I would love to be a talent scout.
In their front office.
Oh my gosh, I would love to be a scout for any NFL team, dude. Because that's the thing is like we get gut feelings on guys, and we've talked about them before. And one of my gut feelings guys was this is not hard to say, but C.J. Stroud was one of my gut feeling guys. Comes into the league and almost has an MVP season.
I had a gut feeling on Bryce Young.
Right, and that's been pretty.
Yeah, there's
shot.
times that I'm wrong, but there's also times that I'm right. So
okay, here's the biggest bust of all time. Pause. That I have had in my entire life. Pause again. The biggest bust of my entire life that I've ever had was thinking Hakeem Butler was going to be a great X receiver in the NFL. Because I was like, man, this guy's out of Iowa State.
He had the intangibles.
He's 6'6", like 220. He's fast. He can run every route in any tree. Throw him on the outside. Who's going to beat him? He's fast. He's strong. He has a good catch radius.
Yeah.
His route running is good. Dude was in the XFL within like 2 or 3 years, and now he's bounced around practice squads.
I thought Jared Goff's career was going to die when he went to Detroit, and I was wrong about that.
I was right about Trey Lance.
I was so right about Trey Lance.
I was like, never take an FCS quarterback in your entire life.
I was right about Trey Lance and Zach Wilson from that draft.
Oh, no, I liked Wilson.
I did not. I hated Zach Wilson.
I
hated
Wilson.
him.
Maybe not for the Jets, because the Jets, poverty franchise, they just ruin lives.
That is true.
But Zach Wilson to me was every bit of Aaron Rodgers, and I could just by the way they throw the football. Dude,
that's what they said about Will Levis.
No, Will Levis.
They were like, "Oh my God, look, this guy can throw football really far. He must be pretty good."
No, it's not. It's his arm mechanics. The way the form in which Zach Wilson threw the ball at BYU was comparable to Packers Aaron Rodgers. And if you throw on the BYU tape, you will see what I'm saying.
The BYU tape. Who did he play at BYU? Nobody.
Okay, well
absolutely nobody.
I'm pretty sure BYU is ranked now, aren't they?
That's because they switched conferences.
Whatever. Okay. This one I audibly laughed out loud on the broadcast, and you guys heard it. You guys being Molly and Ben. It's Jaguars Lions, and Jacksonville is plus 600. 600. That is double the most that I have ever seen in an entire week for past 11 weeks. I have never seen plus 600 in my entire life. You throw this in a parlay with anything and it hits, you are going to literally have a heart attack with how much money you're going to have in your life.
600?
Detroit has a 13.5-point lead.
And what's crazy is they're going to win by 3 times that.
You think?
Oh, absolutely.
What if they lose this game? Oh,
Mac Jones
what happened? Why was he playing?
Trevor Lawrence got injured.
I was gonna text you. I'm like, dude, they don't like Trevor Lawrence that bad. They're gonna.
No, he got injured. No, he got injured.
Okay.
I forget what he got injured.
So Lions 47.5 over.
No, I'm taking the under.
Wow.
Well, because they're gonna score 40 points.
And then
the Jags are going to score like 3. Like I'm taking the under here.
I think this is going to be a 35-21 game, and McCorkle's going to have a crazy 3 touchdowns. You think
Mac Jones
put up 3 touchdowns?
Is going to put up 3 touchdowns?
Give McCorkle a chance. No, I'm going to take the Lions, and I'm taking the over just because the Lions could put up 48 on their own.
It's Trevor Lawrence's shoulder. That's why he has been rolled out against the Lions.
Fair enough. I get it now. I didn't know that, but also I figured it was like
even with Trevor Lawrence,
yeah. It's like Chris Paul makes a 2 to cut the lead down to 43. It's like, hey, we're actually going to start Trevor Lawrence, and you can change your odds to plus 590 from 600. It makes like no difference, but. Moving on, because that game is completely over. You can chalk that up for the Jags will be 2-9.
Even if Jared Goff gives you another 5 interception game, they're still going to win by
that was
25
absurd.
plus.
You know what's crazy? The stat they said, they were something like he hasn't thrown more than 4 incompletions in a game this year, and he threw 5 interceptions.
Yeah, that's because he was getting pressured constantly
by Houston.
Absolutely, like they were in his face. The first 2 picks were not his fault.
Could Houston be a Super Bowl team then? I mean, obviously they lost, but still, with that type of defensive performance against how good this offense is.
Because I don't like the offense without Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins.
But Nico's back this week.
Is he back?
That's what.
Oh, okay.
That's what.
But are they? Who are they playing this week? Oh, they're playing the Cowboys. Oh, okay. They should smoke. Well, we'll get into that.
That's what your cousin told me. Is he has Nico Collins on his team?
That's what Matt told you?
Yeah, he has Nico Collins on his team, and he is like in. He went from day to day to month to like an IR. Pulled off of IR.
They did put him on the IR. I thought he was done for the season.
That's what I thought too. And he was like, no, he's gonna he was practicing all last week. He's set to play this week.
That's wild because it was a hamstring thing and those linger.
Yeah,
That's.
But Diggs is done for the year. He
tore his ACL. He's done.
Yeah. But Nico's back, and I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. The next game is another 1 p.m. game. It is Rams-Patriots. This is probably going to be a pooper bowl, but it's going to be an exciting pooper bowl, I feel.
Yeah. I'm excited to see. I'd like to see how Drake May does.
New England is plus 180, so they are the working underdog.
And yeah, I'm going to take the underdog. I'm taking New England. I think that the way that New England's defense played against Chicago, I was dominance, and I think if they continue to play like that against LA, I don't think LA, even with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, are gonna win. Because they didn't look good against the Dolphins on Monday, and I think that I'm just gonna take the Patriots.
43.5 is the total points. I'm taking the over with the Rams.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm going completely against you.
Wow, all right.
Yeah, I think Kupp and Nacua, or one of the two, are going to have a good game. I think Stafford's going to pick apart the Patriots defense.
Okay.
I like Matt Stafford. I'm feeling him this week. This one's going to be funny probably. Browns Saints. Saints coming off one of the most improbable wins of all time probably in everyone's opinion. Being that the Falcons were supposed to be a really good team this year, and the Saints were on a 7-game losing streak.
Yeah, but they got
fired their head coach.
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of stat out there that's like teams that like after they fire their head coach.
Except for the Jets.
Except for the Jets, they like win their next game.
Yeah.
Like that's just like a given, except for the Jets.
Yeah.
But
it happened when the Raiders fired their head coach, which might have been Dennis Allen, huh? Who got fired to have Antonio Pierce come in for the Raiders.
No, that was the guy from New England. What was his name? Like McDaniels or something like that?
Oh, Chase McDaniels.
No, not Chase McDaniels.
Chase McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels or something like that. I think his name was Josh McDaniels. And then
McDaniel. It's McDaniel.
Josh
I said
McDaniel.
I thought it was Chase McDaniel.
No, it's Josh McDaniels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was double wrong.
This
McDaniels.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fired him and then they won.
With Antonio Pierce. And then it happened the same whenever they, didn't the Colts make Jeff Saturday, their old offensive lineman, their interim head coach, and he got a win?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he lost like every game after
that.
But
it's Browns Saints 44.5, and the line is even.
I am taking the Browns here.
With famous Jameis and
I'm taking
Njoku.
famous Jameis.
Yeah, I am with you on account of Nick Chubb.
Oh, I kind of forgot that he existed.
Yeah, he's back. He's
He's
all
been
the way
back.
back. He's all the way back though.
He's
but
been
before he was like back, but not really. He's all the way back. He's gonna have 20 fantasy points this week.
Okay.
On my bench, but he will have 20 points
on my bench.
Yeah. Go Browns. Never mind. Take it back. I'm going Browns. 44.5. I'm gonna go under though.
Oh, I'm taking the over.
Just because 44 is low key low, but at the same time,
I just think that's okay. And this is now the more that I think about it, each team's got to score more than 21 points, which is 3 touchdowns for each team.
Tough.
Which is kind of I think Jameis could definitely put up more than 28 points because he just throws it without repercussions.
And MVS was coming off of a crazy game, but
yeah, that's a Linsanity run.
MVS. He was decent
he was good in Kansas City.
Yeah. So I'm going Browns under, and you're taking Browns over.
Yeah.
Okay. Colts Jets. Did you see the announcement that the Colts made?
I knew that they should have done this. They're bringing AR back, which they should have.
That's not what you said last week.
What are you talking about? I said that they should. If this is a bad team. They are not going to win. Bring Anthony Richardson back. Let him play. Okay, they gave up on him way too easily.
I feel like you literally just said that Flacco gives the team the best chance to win.
No, that's what they said. That's what Steichen said.
Need to sit him and let him learn from Joe Flacco. We have the tape. I'm gonna
go back and listen. I said that they should let Anthony Richardson play. I think that's what Steichen said.
Is that they think that
Flacco gives them the best chance, and Flacco does give them the best chance to win. He does. I think he does. But Anthony Richardson is not there. But they gotta let him play. They gotta let him get experience. Okay, he cannot get any worse than he already is. All right, he can only go up. I don't think he can get much worse.
Do the Colts beat the Jets here?
No.
How big of a letdown would it be if the Jets lose this game? What do you do to Aaron Rodgers if he loses this game?
I don't know. Who's behind? Is there
Just
anybody
lock him in a room with
behind?
Shailene Woodley? Like, I don't know what we do with him if that happens.
Like, what else does he need? What else does he need to like win games? You gave him Aaron. You gave him Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
You gave him Randall Cobb. You gave him Alan Lazard. You gave him the guy from the Broncos. Who's the OC? Nathaniel Hackett. You gave him Nathaniel Hackett. He has a okay defense. I mean,
yeah.
I don't understand what more could you give him? You have Breece Hall, who I think is a serviceable to above average running back. Like he has the blueprint. I don't know what's wrong. I really don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think his offensive line isn't great, but even if
Tyron Smith isn't playing like Cowboys Tyron Smith.
Yeah, but still, like that's not a great excuse whenever you have Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Like that's like one of the best receiver tandems in the entire league to an extent. Dude, I'm gonna take the Colts.
Ooh, okay. In MetLife?
Sure. Like I don't care.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Just because I think it's like the so Pat McAfee, big friend of the show. Just kidding. He has no idea we exist. But Pat McAfee.
That'd be pretty cool though.
Pittsburgh guy. Pat McAfee.
Is he a Pittsburgh guy?
Dude, you didn't. He went to Plum.
He went to Plum?
Yeah.
What?
Pat McAfee's like a real Pittsburgh dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played for the Colts, and he's best friends with Aaron Rodgers. He had Aaron Rodgers on the show yesterday, and Pat McAfee was low-key talking that ish to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, look. Okay, you need to look at these point totals. Week 1, put up 19 points. Then he put up 24, 20, and then he put up 24
for
again.
Rodgers.
These are their Jets. Then 9 points, then 17 points, then 20 points, then 15, then 22. Then 21, then 6. You got to score more points with this offense.
Yeah, dude.
You really do.
Rome wasn't built in a day, though.
Rome didn't take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 weeks?
No, yeah. That's what Devontae Adams posted after they got their first win together in New York. He's like, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's like, bro, Rome is actually like engulfed in flames if you are Rome. If the New York Jets is the Roman Empire.
Rome is running out of time.
Yeah, Rome is literally swallowed by the Gulf of Mexico at this point, which is not geographically how that works out. But I know.
What the Mediterranean.
I don't care.
That's
not my
the
shtick.
Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's your shtick. You want to be a history teacher, not my shtick. I don't care about geography. It's a geography joke. You had to be there. Office
That's
reference.
An awful joke.
It's an office reference.
Only Michael Scott can deliver that.
You're 0 for 2 on references.
I knew that one. Okay. I knew that
Whatever, but the Sopranos one was fire, and the
I've
fact
never
that
watched The Sopranos.
Fiber optic cables, another one that you wouldn't understand. Nobody gets my references. Okay. I go Colts, you go Jets.
Yeah.
43.5, I'm under.
Under.
Okay. We're sold on the under.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We've got the Vikings, Titans, Tennessee is plus 210, so they aren't having them as a huge underdog. But the Vikings are low key.
Would you say the Vikings are plus 210?
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Titans.
I was gonna say
Titans are plus 210. But like I don't think the Vikings are as legit as I thought they were.
No, because Sam Darnold is looking like Jet Sam Darnold. He's seeing ghosts again.
Oh, I honestly have not been watching them play. I just know that Jordan Addison's like very upset with his target share.
His picks are awful. They are just bad. They are not like
because it was like 12-7 to Jacksonville.
Yeah,
that was this
game. He threw like 2 picks in the end zone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. Yeah, or not I'm with you, but I hear what you're saying.
Like if they get an actual quarterback, and like Sam Darnold is not the guy that's gonna get you there. Like he had his cool MVP lead for like the first 4 weeks, and then you're like, oh wait, we're talking about Sam Darnold here. This guy actually is not a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
You know who that guy is?
Who?
J.J. McCarthy.
Absolutely not.
No, I'm with you.
J.J. McCarthy's not a good quarterback.
But first round pick, you wasted on him, so you can't give up on him yet. Imagine next year they just draft another quarterback and like the.
I'd do that if I was
like Milrow. They go draft Milrow. in the
I
the
wouldn't
back
even
end of
draft
the first.
Milrose. I don't think Milrose is really the answer. I don't think. Okay, but that's a discussion for another day.
Vikings, Titans, 39.5 total points scored. Disrespect.
I'm taking the over. I think
Yeah.
that's a little low.
Is it Levis or Mason?
I think it's Levis.
39.5. Levis is terrible under pressure.
I understand that, but like, I don't even know what I was gonna say. You're right.
Yeah, he's just terrible under
He's just
pressure.
bad.
Stop putting mayo in your coffee. I am going Vikings. I think you're going Vikings as well.
Yeah.
Are you leaning towards the under like I am?
I'm taking over. 39. That's disrespectful.
I'm taking the under.
Okay.
I don't even see the Titans. I could see the Titans blanking this entire game.
Okay, but you know what? That 12-7 is kind of like.
Yeah, the Vikings offense is low key.
You've convinced me. I'm taking the
poopy.
under.
Yeah,
I'm taking the
Yep,
under.
yep.
You know, no. I'm switching. I'm going
Oh,
over. I'm going
okay,
over.
fine.
I'm going over.
You don't want to be my lapdog? That's cool. Whatever. You should just do whatever I say. But no, you gotta make this stupid. All right, so here is, I think, the second biggest underdog. Yep, on the entire week. It is Raiders, Dolphins. Raiders are
crazy.
plus 300.
And I can't believe.
Plus 600. Yeah.
I can't believe that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. I understand.
Crazy.
I understand. It's crazy. 44.5. I could see that over. Dolphins are going to win this one.
Yeah, same here.
Tua's back.
Can Tua
Yeah, that tackle was just ugly all around.
No, it's just like, can he just not put his life in jeopardy for one game?
But did you actually watch the form on that tackle?
I don't even. He's a quarterback. I don't care about the form. How about you don't dive head first into somebody's knee? How about we don't do that, Tua? Okay, you almost died because your brain is mush. Okay, can we not? Your fans clapped at you because you learned how to slide. All right, and then you go and you pull this.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I have 2 points on Tua and the tackle situation. Number one, if you play football and you tackle like that, you don't play football. That is not at all, in any sense, how anyone with any athletic bone in their entire body, let alone an NFL quarterback who has also had a mid to above average athletic profile.
Yeah.
You do not tackle like that. That was like I don't even know. It was like he dropped a quarter on the ground, and he was like Velma who dropped her glasses trying to find it to pick it up. Hunched over, just like the most stupid thing, head down, looking at the ground. I don't understand. Like, I've seen crazy better tackle attempts by quarterbacks, and like with the athletic profile of Matt Ryan has made better form tackles than what I saw out of Tua Tagovailoa. Number two. Well, also, you're in a shiesty. If you're in a shiesty, you run it up with your face mask up no matter what. Number two. He talked to the guy after who caught the interception, the linebacker, and he was like, this is verbatim what he said in a post game interview with somebody, the press talking to him. He was like, I went up to him after the play, and I was like, hey, man, you see me on the sideline. Like, can't you just, like, duck out of bounds or, like, cut back inside? Like, why did you have to, like, run at me? Like, you gave me a knee to my head. Like, you saw me there. Why couldn't you just...
That's what Tua said?
Yes. Maybe because you're an NFL football player with pads on.
That's the game!
Maybe that's why he ran at you. Maybe you shouldn't be concerned about what he's doing as a ball carrier.
I think he got hit a little too hard.
I was like, I saw that, and I was like, this is the biggest wimp I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, my... There's this guy who's got a little bit of...
He has the football in his hands.
I'm just not going to hit him because...
Yeah, I
don't want to hurt his head.
And I understand being a player. Like, if I was a player, I'd want to look out for the safety of my fellow player no matter what team they're on. But you cannot ask someone with the ball in their hands to care about your well-being when you throw your face into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw what happened with Ryan Shazier when he dropped his head. And I hate to bring that up, but that is what Ryan Shazier did. He led with the crown of his helmet. He put his eyes down. He didn't keep his eyes up. Drove the top of his head directly into someone's back and got paralyzed. You just, like, bent over. I don't even want to go into the joke that I had for that, and just stood there and like flung your shoulders near where you thought he was.
Yeah, if you're gonna
like anybody who's ever played football, I don't even think you've ever played structured football,
no,
whatever.
But I would not tackle.
It doesn't.
Like that.
Yes, you know how to tackle. It is so simple, dude. Anybody and their mother understands how to form tackle to an extent. Maybe you don't know the hawk roll or the gator roll or whatever you want to call it, or the leg wrap, or even a bear hug. I like to bear hug just because like you don't lose tackles whenever you go for their upper body.
And you know what?
You never drop your head like that.
And if like you are gonna complain about a guy playing the sport of football, why even try to tackle him?
Yeah.
Why even put yourself in that
Yeah.
position? Like back off, okay? He was being forced into the side. You tackling him had no impact on him scoring. He was not going to score.
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't know.
I watched that play back in slow mo, and I'm just like, I can't believe this kid's in the NFL. And like, I understand it's not his position. He's not trained on it. Whatever. But that's just like, and maybe this is different because I come from a school where I played both sides of the ball, so I played defense as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it matters. I think you could legitimately look at a 5-year-old kid playing Pee-wee for the first time in their entire life, and they understand the fundamentals of making a tackle better than what I saw out of Tua Tagovailoa. That was like the ugliest thing I've ever seen, on top of the fact that he had the audacity to be like, yo, why didn't you run out of bounds?
Yo, why are you playing football?
Why did you cut back?
Why are you playing football, man?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? This is
What
not
a
what we're
baby.
here to do.
Oh, that made me so mad. And I'm sorry to go off on that tangent and rant. And Tua's never going to hear this and whatever, but why? Like, what are we doing? Packers Bears is the next one.
I'm taking Packers here. I never had faith in the Bears to begin with, and I have somehow lost more faith in the Bears than I already had. Regardless of who did they have a bye week last week?
Oh, Sal. I think I didn't see a game. They're 6-3.
Yeah, the last game they played was the Lions. Is Jordan Love going to play? Because that really factors into my pick here. If he plays,
what?
I'm
Why?
taking the
What
Packers.
was it? Malik before the bye week?
Okay. He's going to play. All right, that's good. Because he's got that lingering knee injury or something that's wrong with one of his legs. That's kind of like restricting his mobility. But I'm taking the Packers here. They're just overall a better team. So the coaching on both sides is astronomically different.
Yeah.
And I think I brought this up earlier. Just fire Eberflus. Get him out of Chicago. He's awful. I don't know what you thought firing the OC was going to do. Or who's gonna call the plays now? Eberflus? He's not any better. He's a defensive coach.
That's what's tough is, though, they are a revolving door there, though. The Bears have been a revolving door of head coaches. Like, I don't know when you're going to stick it out with somebody. Like,
I don't
who
think
would
this
it
is
be?
the guy you stick it out with.
You know what's crazy is that Ben Johnson, the OC for the Lions,
Yeah.
has said that his team that he was going to go last year to be a head coach of was the Bears. He was going to be a Bears head coach.
Dude, and
I wonder if this league looks any different today.
As much as I don't want to see Caleb Williams succeed because I don't think he's a very good quarterback, he would have succeeded with Ben Johnson as his head coach.
I don't know.
Even if you put Dave Canales, who did wonders for Geno in Seattle and wonders for Baker in Tampa, I just think that if you even put Canales in Chicago.
Okay. 40.5.
I'm taking the over.
NFC North matchup, and they're like really trying to get into it. I'm gonna take the under, and part of me wants to go Bears, but is it Love?
He's gonna play.
Yeah, I'll go Packers. This next game I think is actually going to be pretty good. Falcons Broncos, and the Broncos are really making a push for a playoff spot.
Yeah. I don't know what exactly happened to Kirk Cousins. I hope this is just a one-game thing for him. But I don't expect him to have the same performance against the Broncos. Like what I've said with Aaron Rodgers, his offense is too good to suck.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I don't think that. But I think Bo Nix could be a good quarterback. I just don't think he's there yet.
I'm going Broncos.
Ooh.
And it's 43.5, and I think I'm going to take that under.
I'm taking the over.
We're really split this week. It's either going to be real good for one of us or real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks, 49ers. This is probably going to be a good game.
I don't think that it will. I think this. I'm not going to say it's a blow up. I think this is a pretty handed. I think the Niners are going to win this pretty handedly.
And you say that why?
I got Christian McCaffrey back, and I understand that he didn't play tremendous against the Bucs, and the Bucs have a terrible run defense, which is a little bit concerning. But first game, coming off of that Achilles,
whatever it was,
I don't even know.
Whatever happened there.
Yeah, okay. But I just think that he's already got a game back. Brock Purdy looked really good. I thought Juwan Jennings looked good. Ricky Pearsall looked good. George Kittle looked good. I think the offense is finally starting to get it. The defense is the defense. I just think that I also don't have a ton of confidence in Geno. So
I feel like you've been feeling that way a lot.
I've been saying that if you put Kirk Cousins in Seattle, that's a contending team, Super Bowl contending team.
I like how many receivers that Seattle has in their arsenal against the 49ers defensive secondary, and I'm going to go Seattle. I think JSN's going to have a great game. I think JSN's going to go off. And Geno will probably throw for like 350 yards. 48.5?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Even if it was 46, 48, I'm taking the over.
Ooh, I'm taking the under.
That's
so
fair.
You got Seahawks over. I got Niners under.
Yeah. What matters more in that? Getting the team winner right or the over-under right?
Really? We were discussing it? It's the team. You get the team right.
I figured.
I could care less if I got the over-under right. If I get the team right, that's...
Whatever. Sold my parlay either way if you don't get them both. This next game will probably be one that I might actually watch like the entire game of. It's Chiefs-Bills.
Yeah.
This is a big deal, especially in the AFC, because you're trying to figure out who's real and who's not. The Chiefs almost lost to the Broncos, and most likely really in all what should have. However, they picked up the win off of a blocked field goal, and the Chiefs magic turned into the Chiefs magic. You're wondering when that 0 loss total is going to hit 1. I don't think it happens this week.
I do think it happens this week, because this game is in Buffalo.
Fair.
And I mean, you got to look at the level of competition that they've played. Like they squeaked out a victory against the Ravens, who are a good team. Squeaked out a victory against the Bengals. They squeaked out a victory against the Falcons. They beat the Chargers, who I think are not a very good team. They beat the Saints, who are not a good team. They beat the Niners, and everybody was injured. They beat the Raiders barely, who aren't a very good team.
Yeah.
They beat the Bucs, who I don't think are a very good team without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And then they beat the Broncos, who I also don't think are a very good team.
Yeah.
And they're going to play one of, if not the second best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
In Buffalo. And they are just squeaking out these victories. Like, they have not had a decisive win this year. Their largest margin of victory was 13 points against the Saints. That is the largest margin of victory they have this season.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot, like significant, I don't know if you call it significant, but a drop in Pat Mahomes' play.
Yeah.
He's not looked like the Pat Mahomes MVP that we've seen.
Yeah, which is crazy because like he's had bad receiving cores before and he's performed pretty well.
Yeah, but I think you're seeing an uptick, maybe not in the 16-point performance that they just had against the Broncos, but the Broncos defense has been hyped up and billed as one of the better ones in the entire NFL. I think DeAndre Hopkins gives them an edge the rest of the year, and that's kind of obvious to say, and Travis Kelce has been getting better progressively.
Yeah, he's at least showing flashes of his former self.
I'm going the over 45.5.
I'm also going the over.
It depends on what the weather's going to be like in Buffalo. I don't know if it's going to get cold this weekend and then maybe a little bit of snow. Probably never snow, but something like that. I am going to take over 45.5 with the Chiefs. And Kansas City's the underdogs. It's plus 110 for Kansas City.
I'm taking the Bills over 45.5.
Fair enough. This is the Sunday night primetime game. It's weird because when I think of the Chargers, I definitely don't think of 6-3. But 6-3 Chargers versus the 4-6 Bengals, I think this is going to be another good game. This is another AFC fighting for a playoff spot. The Bengals are kind of on their way out, especially if they drop this one.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a need-to-win game for them, and they know that, obviously.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow coming off of one of the craziest performances we've seen in a good long while. 11 receptions, 264 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then I think Joe threw for 450. That was the Ravens game. And
Yeah. I mean, I kind of expect another performance like that here. And I just said that I don't think that the Chargers are a good team. And they haven't beaten. The best team that they've beaten is the Broncos.
Yeah.
So and this Bengals team, extremely high-powered offense. I think that the Chargers could put up 3 touchdowns because I have no faith in this Bengals defense.
Yeah.
I just think that the Bengals just outscore them handedly.
The Chargers needed to get another receiver. That's what they like. If they wanted to make this season like worthwhile,
Yeah.
you can't just rock out with Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson.
I like Quentin Johnston. I think that he's having a nice sophomore year. Is he a wide receiver 1? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Is he even a wide receiver 2? I don't know. But, I mean, you're right. I think that they should have traded for a receiver. Because I like Lad McConkey. I think
Right.
he could get there. He ain't there yet.
Yeah, and obviously they started out at least being a big run-heavy team with J.K. Dobbins, and
Yeah.
I think the Bengals handle the run a lot better than they handle the pass, so it's going to be up to Herbert to stretch the Bengals defense out and then probably open up the run from there. But I think he's going to face pressure from Hendrickson, who's also having a crazy year, as he always has great years, but
Nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah. And that takes us into the final game on the slate, the Monday night primetime game. And then after this, we can pick our biggest underdog or our biggest blowout, which will probably be the Jacksonville game. And then we can make a parlay out of that. Monday night, it'll be at 8:15, ESPN, ABC, whatever. 6-4 Texans, 3-6 Cowboys. 42.5 points is the total point scored line. Dallas is plus 290.
Kind of surprised there's not more than that, honestly. After the way they played against the Eagles and Dak is done for the season, I thought it'd be a little bit more of a gap. But I think that Stroud needs to I thought he looked very, very good in that first half. I don't know what really happened to him in the second. Maybe he just got overconfident and was like, wow, I'm really, making these throws. Maybe I should keep trying this. And then that obviously didn't work because they lost.
Yeah.
I don't even think they scored in the second half. I think they lost 26-23 in the first half. The half score was 23.
They did, yeah.
27.
They didn't score.
That's just not, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
As for that team. But I think that they're going to run over the Cowboys. I don't think this is going to be a close game at all.
That's what I was going to say is I think actually on paper you're thinking that this Jags game is going to be the biggest blowout, but I think
do you have more faith in Mac Jones or Cooper Rush?
I think the question becomes do I have more faith in Jacksonville's defense or Dallas's? And Dallas's defense has been very bad.
Mm-hmm. But they have Micah. They got Micah back.
Yeah, and Micah's been talking a lot of ish on his own coach, and that's what I think. I think you're gonna see. Did you see that?
No,
you didn't see what he said.
No, what he said.
Okay, I had to explain this to Matt too, so this will be funny. A reporter asked Micah Parsons, like, Mike McCarthy's in the last year of his deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, he could be on his way out if the team doesn't start winning and you guys aren't having a great year. And obviously you had higher expectations for the season and he could be getting fired and whatever else. So, do you want to win for him so that you can, keep him in his job and whatever else? And Micah goes, I think verbatim what he said around was, I want to win for the guys like Zach Martin who have been here for 13 years and have given their life for the Dallas Cowboys and have done or have put in more work than Mike McCarthy ever has.
Wow, I was
verbatim what he said.
I was gonna say I think you're blowing it out of proportion until you said
that Mike McCarthy ever has.
Wow, that's.
Yeah. But then he was like, "Y'all take my words and spin them." So I'm just gonna take that fine from now on. It's like, bro, that's literally what you said. And it's like maybe you meant to say put in more work on the field because Mike McCarthy doesn't work on the field. He works on the sidelines and watching film and works in the office. But what you said verbatim was that they put in more work than Mike McCarthy ever has. So, yeah, that was a problem. Don't like to hear that if you're the head coach. Don't like to hear that if you're one of Micah Parsons' teammates. Micah Parsons, of course, is known for talking, I think, the most out of any NFL player.
Which is, he can.
He runs his own podcast. That's like the biggest problem with him is that he has his own podcast and he just keeps uploading videos. Like, dude, just quit it. Like, stop it. Retire from podcasting. Like, it's never gonna work out because you just keep talking yourself into a hole. Because like you could talk bad about like people like the Texans because him and Stroud are good buddies, and then the Texans beat you and they're playing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is gonna be a big game, obviously because Stroud and Micah are good friends. But I don't know. I think this Cowboys defense is depleted in almost every single level except for DeMarvion Overshown and their linebacking core, and Micah as their edge rusher. I know he's still.
Yeah, there's really nobody else left on that.
Because both their corners are out, star corners. Yeah, their safeties have not been good. I don't even think if you could throw.
When was the last time they
Malik
were
Hooker
good?
into that? Maybe for
I
like
can't
a year
even
or two.
think the last time they had a very, very good safety.
Yeah. Wasn't it George Iloka? I know he was in the Bengals. I think he left the Bengals and went to Dallas.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay. Never mind. Byron Jones, the guy who had the longest long jump in the history of the NFL.
He's a corner.
Combine. Yeah, but he could play safety.
But he was primarily a corner.
Jeff Heath.
Yeah, but he's a corner.
There's Jeff Heath.
Yeah, but Jeff Heath wasn't that good.
Jeff Heath sucked. Yeah, I hate Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath, known terrorist? I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. We're getting the Wednesday crazies right now. I'm just kidding. With our little bit of time left, we're gonna cook up our parlay. We will both be doing the Jags Lions because
It's pretty obvious.
Yep, and maybe I should do something funny for mine. I'm thinking about it.
Is Jared Goff going to throw in a completion?
Yeah, he might. I think he'll throw a pick. Again.
Really?
I think he'll throw another one.
I'm fine. I have no idea what to do for the Jags. I just.
Oh,
you know what? Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay.
You're gonna love this one. Okay, and
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
do you want me to go first?
It's up to you.
I have mine. Do you want me to go?
Sure.
I have Gibbs over 1.5 touchdowns. I think Jameer scores twice.
Okay.
I have Amon-Ra St. Brown under 100.5 receiving yards. I don't think he hits the triple-digit mark.
Okay.
I have McCorkle Jones over 7.5 rushing yards. Yeah, I don't know why. It just came to me. It's a hunch.
It should really just be over half a rushing.
Yeah. He'll finish with -70 from getting sacked 8 times. And then I have Tank Bigsby over 69.5 rushing yards.
I have Jared Goff over 90% completion.
Wow.
I have Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown. McCorkle Jones over 1.5 interceptions thrown.
Okay.
And Brian Thomas under 4.5 receptions.
Okay, so when McCorkle inevitably throws picks, who gets them? Brian Branch.
Brian Branch is definitely gonna get one.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Definitely gonna get one.
That's what I was thinking.
I think Kirby Joseph gets the other one. I think both safeties.
Oh, I would give it to Jack Campbell. And I like Jack Campbell, man. It's just something about being 6'4" middle linebacker in Detroit just screams to me like, yeah, that's ball right there. That's 100% how football should happen. Aiden Hutchinson comes off the sideline with his air cast and sacks. Yeah, and sacks McCorkle Jones off of a left side rush because Cam Robinson is deformed.
Cam Robinson isn't there anymore.
I know they traded him.
He's in Minnesota.
I know. Just to hate on Cam Robinson because like why? But that has been our NFL Weekly Pick'em, guys. As we're coming up on the top of the 3 p.m. hour, we're going to get out of your hair. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate how much effort you put into listening to our talking. We know that nobody listens, but
Thanks, Molly.
Yep, we appreciate it. Tune in Friday, 2 to 3, same time, and listen to our Steelers pregame, guys. I have been Christian Bartoletti alongside my co-host
Ben Giannetta.
Yeah, we'll talk to you Friday. Welcome into WDSR Duquesne Student Radio, top of the 2 p.m. hour. What, too loud in your headphones?
A little loud.
That's awesome. I did turn Ben's headphone volumes up just to mess with him. I don't know why I did that. I didn't think it would hurt him that bad, but Ben was over here freaking out. Back to what I was saying before, top of the 2 p.m. hour, it is WDSR Duquesne Student Radio. I am Christian Bartoletti alongside my co-host Ben Giannetta, and it is Friday, November 15th, so you know what that means. We are doing our weekly Steeler pregame show. The Steelers are playing AFC North Division rival Baltimore Ravens Sunday at 1 o'clock. This is in Baltimore, I do believe, right? Am I tweaking?
Yeah.
Brother.
Wait, who am I looking at?
It's either A&T or it's Acrisure.
It's Acrisure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a home game for the Steelers, the first of the season double up. This is obviously a huge game for both teams because if the Ravens win, they would take the AFC North number 1 position. The Steelers currently hold AFC North's first position by half a game. They are 7-2. The Ravens are 7-3. Ravens started out really kind of shaky, a little rocky.
Yeah, everyone too, right?
Yeah, and everyone knew they were going to bring it back, but maybe they didn't see it happening this quickly. I'm not surprised. But then again, it's been a wonky NFL season. To start you out, as we do every week, we have the injury report for both the Steelers and the Ravens as of today, obviously Friday. So still a Saturday walkthrough or some flights to be booked for the Ravens, and then Sunday before the game. I don't think they have any like really game time decisions as far as key players for both sides. For the Steelers, obviously, we saw Highsmith's ankle injury. We know that he's going to be down at least a couple of weeks. Originally, I got scared because a live broadcast in the moment, before I saw the replay, I assumed it was an Achilles the way that Highsmith was acting. And then I watched the video of it. It was just twisting of his ankle. It's probably a sprain. He'll be back in a couple weeks. He's not gone for the season. That was another thing. It was like he broke his ankle. He's gone for whatever. No, I've sprained my ankle playing basketball.
Man, it just hurts.
It does, and it lingers,
really
and it's not fun. And once you turn it once, it's easier to turn it a second, a third, or a fourth time.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, the rehab on it is not terrible or not going to need surgery. Yes, exactly. But he will not be playing. I don't think this game. A couple games he'll be out. But you will see that means obviously Herbig will be back. And also the addition of Preston Smith, who had a very good breakout game that we'll get into before against the Commanders in his first game with the Steelers. So obviously he'll also occupy that role, even though I had assumed he would be the TJ Watt filler.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was more also opposite of TJ Watt during the game, but you're going to have Herbig in, and since he's working back from his injury, that'll be exciting. Dante Jackson, I heard that he went out, and he's been kind of like, I don't want to say wishy-washy in terms of play. He's been solid. Wishy-washy in terms of injury. You know, he's had like a minor injury that sidelined him for a quarter, but he comes back in, or he missed the first half of a game and then played, or something like that. You know, he's been brought along slowly with some of his injuries. He has a hamstring. He's listed as limited participant on Thursday. So he should be good to go. I would imagine he'll be playing. They're still listing Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to play football against the Ravens, especially. He hates the Ravens, and everybody that's ever seen him play knows it. Sayamalu is under resting veteran, so obviously he just gets his vet day off.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Hayward is there. He didn't participate Wednesday or Thursday. He does that every single week. He's 33 years old. He's got gray hair everywhere. He's an old man.
Everywhere.
Well, my fault. My fault, Cam. But regardless, he's not injured or anything. He's just taking his vet rest. Jaylen Warren is obviously back from his injury that was sidelining him for a little bit early on in the year. That's pretty much all the notable injuries for the Steelers. The Ravens, moving on to them. Kyle Hamilton was limited Thursday. He's listed with an ankle injury. I'm sure he'll play. They kind of need him. The Ravens, that's like they're one of their best defenders. I know Roquan Smith.
Yeah, Roquan Smith, are just those are the top, and Marlon Humphrey. Those are the top three guys that they need.
And you could put in Justin/Nnamdi Madubuike, however you say it.
Madubuike, yeah.
But however, it's I say it like 4 different ways. It's there was an NFL guy, and I could have sworn. Oh no, that was never mind. That was a Pittsburgh Penguin I was thinking of. Connor Sherry and Sherry. They called him Sherry for like 5 years of his career. And he's like, "Hey, my name's Sherry, by the way." And they're like, "What?" And then
isn't that what? Because I remember C.J. Gardner-Johnson when he first came into the NFL. He was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
That's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, and
C.J. is Chauncey.
Yeah, and then he just changes to C.J. Like I still want to call him Chauncey Gardner-Johnson because
Chauncey's a stupid name. It's like
I think it sounds better. I think it sounds better than C.J. But
Okay, that's a fair assessment, I guess. Lamar Jackson is listed as resting with his resting/knee. Who cares? Lamar Jackson's obviously going to play. Likely, who I was concerned of because obviously he was on fire the first couple weeks, and then they started to say, Mark Andrews is going to get demoted to tight end 2 and be an offensive lineman.
Which is kind of crazy because he's not a blocker.
he was never a blocking tight end, and that's what they were kind of demoting him to because of how good Likely was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've kind of not heard Likely's name a whole lot at all, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think the Ravens really care which tight end gets them the production. They just want one of them too.
And that's something that I hit on Wednesday, talking about just a brief overview of this game because we didn't want to say too much.
Yeah.
But tight ends predominantly in the passing game is what has killed the Pittsburgh Steelers predominantly in the past. And now
I looked this year. The only 2 tight ends that have really killed them were Ferguson from Dallas and Brock Bowers.
Hmm?
Every other tight end,
which are 2 great receiving tight ends,
which are 2 good receiving tight ends. But every other tight end that they've played has not beaten them.
Yeah, but tight ends where you got Conklin and they're not going to work. I was thinking Jets tight end. You got Conklin maybe, and they don't work him that whole lot.
You had Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts did not have a great
fair.
game.
That's fair.
Was I don't even know who the Broncos tight ends was at that point.
Troutman most likely.
Maybe it was.
And what is that guy's name with the long hair?
Oh, Dulcich.
Yeah.
And then they played the Chargers. I don't really know who. Is it still just Gerald Everett?
I think Everett's on a different team.
No, he was there.
It's somebody else, but
And then it was
nobody.
The Colts, who really don't have a tight end.
Mo Alley Cox.
I guess it is Mo Alley Cox. And then Theo Johnson didn't really have a good game for the Giants.
No. Yeah, they don't. Well, that's those are all mid to whatever.
And
tight
then Zach
ends.
Ertz, I think, had 1 catch.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. But they're obviously going to target their outside receivers, and that's I think a lot of people try to target the outside receivers of the Steelers because there isn't a super big name corner. I know Joey Porter Jr. is there, but I think Joey Porter Jr. holds a lot more respect within Pittsburgh than he does in the entire NFL. I don't think
every player on the Steelers.
Well, George Pickens is like widely regarded as like a top 10 receiver no matter what. I'm not kidding.
Whoa.
You know this.
Whoa.
Dude.
Whoa.
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark played for the Steelers.
But he's not a Steelers.
Biased.
He's not a Steelers insider though. He's a national news outlet.
I don't care. He's biased.
Okay. But I'm pretty sure even like Stephen A. Smith, whatever, and I know Stephen A. Smith has been a Steelers fan before, whatever. I'm just saying there are guys on national media that
I'm not doubting
an NFL young boy. He has a large following with the NFL. He is come on, that's a thing. Maybe you're not as chronically online as I am, but George Pickens has a massive following and it gets rated. Stop blinking at me. Listen, I wish I had a video up so you guys could see what Ben is giving me the most crazy stare right now. I'm not talking out of my butt. This is real.
I wouldn't
George
say
Pickens
top,
love.
I wouldn't say top 10. I wouldn't say
Okay,
top 10.
listen, I don't think stats wise, probably not. Talent wise,
even stats wise, I think he might actually have a shot.
well, then why are you disagreeing with me?
Because I think that there
obviously,
are better receivers out there.
Talent wise, obviously he's in the top 10 for me.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Nobody has.
He is. He's got 40 catches, which is tied for third, for 639 yards, which is ninth, and 2 touchdowns.
Okay,
which is tied for 64th.
Yeah, touchdowns. I mean, like, obviously, that's just how the offense
I'd
has
put
been.
Justin Jefferson,
Okay.
A.J. Brown,
Okay.
Jamar
Ooh.
Chase.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to
don't
start
know.
over because that's okay. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill,
Okay.
A.J. Brown.
Him and A.J. Brown are almost the same kind of receiver. A.J. Brown's just bigger looking.
A.J. Brown's a better route runner, a very much better route runner.
Why?
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 What do you mean why?
Well, like, I think the misconception is people think that George is only a jump ball guy.
He's not only a jump ball guy, but A.J. Brown's such a better route runner. Like, he is so much better at getting open in space. He's so much, and he's such a more physical receiver. Like, it is.
That's
hard.
what you would say
It is hard
because
to
he
bring-
looks bigger.
It is hard to bring him down.
No, listen. I understand why you're saying this, but I'm telling you, there's a little bit of something going on in your head. But okay, would you put Stephon Diggs ahead of him?
Yes, I would. I still think. I think he's
Talent wise.
I would put CeeDee Lamb. I'd put CeeDee Lamb ahead of George.
I just think these guys.
Oh my
get,
lord!
I think
oh
these
my
guys
Lord.
get schemed
Are
the
you
ball
kidding
a
me?
lot.
Are you? I'd put. No, I'd put Mike Evans. I'd take Mike Evans. I'd take Mike Evans over George. I might even take Chris Godwin over. I might even take Chris Godwin. I would take Terry McLaurin. I like Terry McLaurin a whole lot more. I'm not going to say why. Because he's fast,
right?
And he's got great hands, which I'm not. Because I think George Pickens has got better hands.
George Pickens has the best hands in the league, the best.
I'm not doubting that. I think he does.
So if there is 4 categories to measure receiver: route running, speed, hands, and we'll say catch radius or after the catch, run after catch. Which Deebo Samuel has run after catch.
Yeah.
George Pickens has best hands.
Yeah.
Best route runner.
I'd go Justin Jefferson
or Devontae Adams.
Is it Devontae Adams anymore?
Okay, maybe not. But and then
speed is Tyreek Hill.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So out of these cornerstone 4 things that describe a receiver, and George Pickens has the number 1.
Yeah.
Which is best hands and his catch radius. Think about his catch radius because that matters a lot.
Yeah,
it's not just his
ability. He's got a big catch radius.
It's not just his ability to go up and beat someone one-on-one. It's also to track a ball in the air, to find it, to make the catch, to haul it in, and to have the control.
Yeah.
Also his sideline ability. He has great feet along the sidelines. Talent-wise, he is top 10.
I mean, we just disagree on this.
But I'm just saying, if you have like a cornerstone 4 or 5 ways to describe a receiver, and he is number 1 in one of those, how is he not in your top 10?
Debo's not in my top 10.
I understand
Debo's best
that.
run after catch.
I understand that.
Just because you're the best at one thing doesn't make you a top 10 receiver. You got to be very, very good at multiple things.
Yeah.
And other receivers may not be the best.
But I think
at any
out
of
of
those
all of those, run after catch is the least
Oh,
important.
I mean, yeah, run after catch is the least. I'd say like
speed is least important.
No, I think speed is speed is not
Henry Ruggs, John Ross, Dre Archer, we can go on and on and on.
Okay, but like,
you know Olave ran a 4.26.
Chris Olave?
Yeah, did you know that?
Really?
I forgot about that. Had no idea.
I had no idea he was that fast.
Okay, maybe they got. I watched the combine film back,
Yeah.
and that's what it was on the combine was 4.26. It might have been unofficial. There was an unofficial 4.26. It might have gotten changed. Calvin Austin ran a 4.32. Calvin Austin could be listed on those fast guys that do nothing.
Speed is the third most important. I think it goes route running. I think route running.
I would say
catching. I'd say route running.
Look, think about Deontay Johnson's time in Pittsburgh. He led the league in separation yards on any route, or maybe it was like routes within 10 yards, whatever. He led the league in separation average. But he had the yips when it came to catching. He just couldn't, he dropped the ball wide all the time, and it made him almost obviously unreliable, but almost unusable in a way. And he was obviously great in his time in Pittsburgh, I think. But you can be open for days, but if you cannot catch the football, that is a big issue.
Yeah. I mean, but you got to look at why Justin Jefferson is as good as he is. And that's because he's such a good route runner. He gets open. Like he's got great hands.
His hands are crazy.
His hands
too.
are crazy.
Yeah.
But the best thing about him is his route running. Same with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase can get open. That's why he's so good. Garrett Wilson can get open.
And Jamar Chase, I think, has more top end speed than Justin Jefferson. Because
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Looking at those runs in that Ravens game, those big touchdowns,
He was
like,
it.
golly, he just like took off. It's absurd. But since we got off on a Pickens tangent, back to this game, or we're gonna do the Commanders game wrap up, and we can talk about Baltimore's game against Cincinnati, which was obviously a huge game. Thursday they have, and Lamar is questionable, but it's very obvious he's gonna play.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, the Thursday night game, they've had 10 days, or they're going to have 10 days of difference. So they played on the 7th against Cincinnati, and they're going to play on the 17th against the Steelers. So they've had 10 days to prep for the Steelers, which is a long, or I guess it's a long week. You get a lot of time off or a lot of time to prep. So I think they're going to come out and kind of have a good look at the Steelers team, and I think the Steelers have kind of had the same offensive theory for the whole entire season. So I don't know. It's gonna be a tough game. But to dive into the Steelers, almost called them the Red, Steelers Commanders. So obviously the interception happened. We knew it was going to happen at some point. We didn't know when.
Screw it, George has done this so well.
Dude, I've been predicting an interception for Russell Wilson for like the past 4 weeks since he started.
Yeah, you have.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop doing it because I just want to keep. Because like at first I was mad about it because Justin Fields is like my favorite player, and now I've kind of been like, you know what?
He's preying on that downfall.
Yeah, I'll quit. Russell Wilson's a good dude, and I don't know. I did fall asleep at halftime and missed the first half of the third quarter. I'm gonna be honest.
I didn't watch the majority of the game. I kind of caught the tail end.
Yeah.
Where I saw that amazing throw from Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin on that sideline. Beautiful throw and catch. And then I saw the absolute incredible catch by Mike Williams and a great throw by Russell Wilson.
Yep.
So.
Did you see the Pickens touchdown, like a replay of it?
Oh, I've seen replays. That's so nasty.
Yeah.
That is so unbelievably nasty.
He tracked it on the inside. I moved away to show Ben what he did, but he tracked the ball to his inside shoulder and then
it was a bad throw by Russell Wilson.
He kind of just put it out there because that's how George is, man. If you give him a little bit of shot, like a little bit of a shot, he'll take it. He had to track it through his inside shoulder, flipped his entire body, took the defender running into him, found the ball in the air. It was very crazy. And the fact that he got his hands on it, survived the ground, and the ball never bobbled once was absurd to me.
He's got great hands.
Yeah. And I didn't know that 40 receptions puts him at third, you said?
No, I think it's is it? No, it's not third.
You said something. 40 receptions.
He has 40 receptions, puts him at 30th.
Oh, I thought you said third.
No.
I was like, he is third in receptions with 40? That doesn't make any sense. 30th. Okay. Well, then, yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Could you imagine if he had 69 catches, which I think is what Jamar has?
I'm going to look at catches. Jamar has...
Receptions.
Jamar has 66.
Okay. So if he had...
Jamar also has 981 yards. So.
That's what I'm saying. You give George 26 more. What's his average? We'll do it right now. Now.
He does...
What's George Pickens' average catch?
16.
Average per catch.
Average per catch is 16.
16 times 26. 416
give
plus
him more.
639.
Close to 1,000, I think.
It'd put him at 1,055. So if he's getting the target, the targets, or if he's getting the reception share that Jamar is getting, he's a 1,000-yard receiver already. He's leading the league.
That's but
it's hypothetically, right?
Also,
you can't go off averages.
A.J. Brown is averaging 18.7 yards per catch, and Jaden Reed is averaging 17, and Nico Collins is 17.5.
Okay, so who's Nico Collins' quarterback?
C.J. Stroud.
Okay, who's A.J. Brown's quarterback?
Jalen Hurts.
Hold on. Who's Jamar Chase's quarterback?
Well, hold on. Okay, hold on. Russell Wilson has been playing good.
I'm not going to say he's not. I'm not going to say he's not. But if you're going to put Russell Wilson in that echelon of quarterback?
No.
Okay, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. He's like a tier below.
And look what he did. He's had 1,000-yard receiving years with Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Mason.
Has he had 1,000-yard receivers?
Yes, he had 1,000 yards last year.
Did he really? That's really impressive with his quarterback.
Yeah, and on like 60 receptions.
He did. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. He averaged 18 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had 66 catches, 1,100
Yeah,
yards.
see what I mean? This is like
he
crazy.
just doesn't score, which is kind of
because the Steelers' offense doesn't score.
That is true, and they also
because the
run
Steelers'
ball.
defense doesn't allow the other team to score, and the Steelers can't blow out a team. That just doesn't. It doesn't work like that. For some reason, the Steelers are not allowed physically to blow out a team.
It is okay, but like his targets to his receptions are kind of.
He gets targeted a lot. Well, and okay, here's the thing:
106 targets to 63 catches last year.
Okay.
But
and who was throwing the ball?
But you can blame the quarterback. Though.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can blame the quarterback.
110%. Because the kid does not drop the football.
And even this year, it's 65-40, which is honestly pretty. I'd like to see.
I haven't had a guy since Antonio Brown that I've watched play football.
That's about average.
And anytime the ball goes to that person's side of the field, I know it's a catch. It is not because. Like Deontay, man, you didn't know. Even if it was like a shallow drag.
I would see him run a slant and then he just drop it.
Number one, you don't know if he's going to catch it
Mm-hmm.
or you don't know if it's going to sail 15 feet above his head to a safety behind him playing in rover center field. It's like unspeakable. And it was the same way with Claypool, where I was like, if it goes to Claypool's side, no matter what, he's catching it. And that is a great feeling because if you put yourself
his rookie year.
Okay, yes, 1 year exactly. If you put yourself in the quarterback's shoes, could you imagine what that? If you have that kind of safety blanket, all I got to do is give this guy a shot, and I'm getting 30 yards.
You remember when we were playing intramural football?
Yeah, you did have a guy.
That's exactly what I
did. Have a guy. You did have a guy. I remember.
Like, I'm just gonna throw it to him
because he almost jumped over me when we played. That was bad, and I had like 3 touchdowns receiving that game against you.
I was just like, you know what? I had 2 really big guys. I was like, if I just throw it to them, they're gonna catch it.
No, listen, this kid that Ben played with at receiver, I'm not kidding, had to have cleared a 32, 35 inch.
He's got an incredible vert.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
I was playing in the back corner of the end zone, and I'm like, there's no way Ben lobs this up. He did, and then I watched the ball in the air. I looked up in the air as the kid, I look over, and his belly button's in my eyeball, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess.
And this guy's like shorter than Christian. Yeah, like, he was not very tall.
Like, I guess this is my life now. I'm looking up at him like, sir, please don't spike this on my head. Like, this is going to hurt so bad. And if we were playing like real football, I probably would have grabbed him and pushed him out of bounds. But
two-hand touch flag.
But yeah, like flag. And I'm just like, you know what? Fair play, dude. I'm not gonna even. I'm not getting to that. And it was so demoralizing because like I've never been dunked on in real life, but like that's essentially what just happened.
That's an equivalent. That's the football equivalent.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd imagine that's what George does to a lot of guys. Like, could you imagine being a corner, just being that? It's like you look over and you're like
so
perfect
humiliated.
coverage. It's like
dude, that's how Eli Apple feels every game.
Every game. Well, since he's out of the league now, maybe not watching it on his couch.
When he was playing.
Yeah. Did you see the fake punt from the Steelers? Because this is the thing, man.
Isn't that guy's name Pierre?
James Pierre.
Isn't he like an offensive player?
He doesn't own an air fryer. No, he's a corner.
He's a corner. Okay.
Yeah. But regardless. And you know what's funny? He had genuine reps in that game at corner because of Dante Jackson's injury. He came on and played.
Yeah, so I guess you're right. It's not like he's cold and he hasn't like done anything. He's actually like running around.
And he's been on. And you know what's funny? I actually enjoy his cornerback play because he's like really not bad. And he's a bench guy, and you expect the bench guy to just suck when they come in, and he's really like he doesn't strap anything
he's
crazy.
Solid.
Exactly. And I so on the broadcast, I'm like. Well, I think it was it 4th and 5 or was it 4th and 1? It was like really tight. It was a manageable, and I was like, oh, I'd like for him to go for. Oh no, it was not. It was not a manageable. I don't think because I remember.
When was it? First quarter? Second quarter?
First. So they have the ball. It was 7-0, and they're obviously going to try to go down the field and continue the drive and then score another touchdown, make it 14-0. And instead, it was 7-7. I believe maybe it was 4. I don't think it was 14-0 at that point. So we're watching a live angle, and it's Corliss Waitman, our punter, Steelers punter, in the back, and
it was a 4th and 15.
Oh, okay. So no, I was wrong. The 4th and 1 was the Jerzon Newton jumping off sides, but so what the Commanders did is Steelers have a gunner on each side. That's every single punt team does. They have a gunner on each side, which the gunner is the guy who stands by the sideline and just runs down the field. That's his position is a gunner.
Mm-hmm.
And teams will either put one guy on as if there's a cornerback covering them and it's like they're a receiver, or they'll put two guys on there sometimes, one to block and then one to just run. The Commanders had 1 and 1 on each of the gunners. I don't know what their cue is, whether the cadence is set HUD or if it's a set and then the ball gets snapped 3 seconds later or whatever. In high school we were a set and then the ball got snapped. It was not a set HUD. It was special teams because the offensive line stayed on and did field goal, and that was our field goal cadence for the holder. This is a punt, so the personal protector goes set, and the ball gets snapped. Well, whenever he was getting ready to say it, their guy that's covering the gunner, who is James Pierre, the Commander's guy, jumps down onto the line of scrimmage and is like queuing up like he's going to run off the edge and try to block it. So the Steelers and Danny Smith, I'm guessing, have seen this play on film. So they're like, they put it in their install for special teams. If their guy tries to block our punt and come off the edge, we're leaving a guy one-on-one cover or one-on-none coverage by himself. So Christian Kuntz, Duquesne grad, Duquesne football legend, former Duquesne linebacker, played with a buddy of mine at Duquesne. Shout out to Ricky. He was on our funny enough, on our flag football team. But Miles Killebrew gets the direct snap from Christian Kuntz and then throws the ball to James Pierre. That's how the play happened. From my angle, I saw Corliss Waitman, the punter, sitting there. The ball got snapped, and then the angle still holds on the punter, and he's not moving. And I'm like, what happened with the snap? Like, is it 15 feet over his head? He didn't even bother moving? Is it like a rolled across the ground? Like, are we turning the ball over? What's going on? So then the angle shifts, and as the angle shifts, I see Pierre stopped, looking back for the football, and then falling flat on his face with the ball on the ground. And I'm like, what in the heck just happened? They show the replay. I see what happens. And my dad said something that, it makes sense. And I was, at the time, I was like, that's such a stupid play call. Like, I understand, you want to be aggressive and this, that, and the third. And I understand.
It
if it would have,
if it did work, it's just unfortunate.
And that's what he said. It was like, but here's the thing: if that play got the Steelers a first down and they go down the field and they score a touchdown, you're saying a totally different thing. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but you don't need to do that. You're already up 7-0. You know this team is good. Why give them an excuse to score?
Yeah,
and you trust your defense so much, right?
Did they score off that?
Yes, it was a touchdown. They got the ball on the 20-yard line. Yes, they went and scored a touchdown. That was the first touchdown they scored. But the thought process is punt the ball away, make them work for it. You know how good your defense was, and the defense to that point in the game, they didn't allow anything from the Commanders. The Commanders, I think, had 9 total yards at one point, even into the second half before they went on their touchdown drive to open up the half and all this other stuff. They had 20 total yards of offense. It was bad. It was like the Chargers game.
Yeah, and
they didn't have anything going on.
Before the fake punt, they had 7 total yards.
I think that was just their first drive.
In two drives, they had 7 yards.
Exactly. Okay.
And then after that, they had a 15-yard drive,
which was the touchdown.
Off
of the fake kick.
And then they had a negative 3-yard drive.
Yeah.
And then they had a 40-yard drive, which was a field goal, and then they scored another touchdown before half.
Yeah.
But
that's what. Yeah, they didn't have anything developing, and then you gave them a touchdown and made the game a whole lot closer.
15 yards away.
Yeah. But all is well because Russell Wilson finds Mike Williams, and that Mike Williams catch is very hard too.
That's an incredible catch.
That is and then nobody really talked about it a lot, but that is one of the hardest catches to make at all.
Because you've had a split second to see the ball.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think with the way the angle of which he was running and where the ball was thrown, I think it went directly over the top of his head.
Yeah, he had to adjust to it.
He couldn't even track it in the air like it was coming from the side. It came directly over top of him. So if anything, he had to peek up in his eyes as it came into his view from over top of his head, and then he has probably a half a second to put his hands on it.
Yeah.
It was a crazy catch.
Yeah. It was a great throw, fading away from Russell Wilson.
Yep.
I think we did talk about this. They were calling for St. Juice's head after that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was on the Wednesday show. Yeah, they told him to. They said to send him back to France. He got wrecked badly in the comment sections that I was in. Excuse me. But that's obviously a huge win. You get the ball back 4th and 1, and we talked about how I thought that to an extent, I know that they were going to try the hard count, but I thought they would try the hard count, and then 2-3 seconds, everyone's like, oh, they're not going to snap it. Then they snap it and hand the ball off to Najee and take what happens. You thought that they were never going to snap the ball.
I was just a hard count. I did not think they were going to snap it.
Yeah, obviously, we'll never know. It doesn't matter.
Know. Well, Mike Tomlin knows, but nobody
else
knows.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Russell Wilson would have.
It's
known.
like the moon landing. We'll never know. Or the JFK files. We'll never know. Me and
What do you mean we'll never know about the moon landing?
Me and Molly got into conspiracy theories over yesterday night. Yeah, last night.
We landed on the moon.
Okay, good for you. Okay. Moving. Ben just gave me the craziest look. This is not football time, or this is not football
conspiracy
talk.
theory time.
Yeah, could you imagine if we just did that?
That'd be fun.
Of course it would be for you. You don't even. Oh, dude, the stuff that I could tell you. You're literally your little Christian Catholic boy brain would explode. I promise you.
Why would you go there?
That your little Christian
Why
Catholic boy.
Why would you go there?
Just because. What does it matter if you're religious? I'm just saying, like with the stuff that the info that has been posed would just take your mind and would just rearrange it completely.
Okay,
almost
whatever.
like you're Kurt Cobain. That's a bad joke. I know, bad joke. Okay.
Wow, we really went downhill. Well, you went downhill.
Yeah, that's my fault, guys.
Like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, downhill like Jack and Jill. Bang! I'm a rapper now. I'm in front of a mic. Give me a beat. All right. Yeah, this has been great. I hope that people don't listen to this one. This is I think this is funny. Maybe not.
I don't.
Is this entertaining? Molly, is this entertaining? She'll text me in 3 minutes being like, "Yo, this is trash."
This is terrible. Yeah. Stop talking.
No, because there is a fat delay. It's crazy.
Is there?
Yeah, it's like a 2-minute delay from live to the broadcast. But the Baltimore Ravens themselves have swept the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think they've played the Browns at all, so I think they've just played.
They lost the Browns.
Oh, right, the Jameis Winston game.
Yeah, the 3 drop picks from the defense.
I knew that. I'm stupid.
No, you didn't know that.
I forgot. So they're 2-1 in conference. They've lost to the Browns, which is crazy, but they swept the Bengals.
Which is even crazier.
I don't think it's crazy.
The Bengals are a good team.
I think I would have projected Baltimore to sweep Cincinnati, to sweep the Browns, and to split with the Steelers. Oh, before the season, even just because
before the season, I would have went sweep Browns, split Steelers, split Bengals.
I could be with you as well on that. But the Bengals they're a funky team. It's like weird.
They're all offense, no defense.
Yeah. But Baltimore, there's something about their defense that's getting exposed a little bit. I am not exactly sure as to what Pittsburgh's going to be able to do. Obviously, it's kind of my job to give my assumption, but just to talk about the past.
I mean, what's happening with their defense is they're playing extremely good passing offenses.
Okay.
They've played the Bengals twice, best passing offense in the NFL right now.
Based on passing yards?
Just overall stats. Like, no one's even close.
Well, what about offensive efficiency? Because I think offensive efficiency, you'd give Baltimore that.
Well, because they can run the ball.
Yes, right.
Yeah, but they've played extremely good passing offenses. Like, they only gave up 10 points to the Broncos, which they should have because they have a good defense.
Right.
They gave up 34 and 38 points to the Bengals, who have an extremely good passing offense. They gave up 31 points to the Bucs. Granted, most of that was in garbage time. But they
38?
have a good 31.
Oh.
But they have a good passing offense.
But that was whenever Evans and Godwin was in, right? Or was that the game they both went down?
That was the games they both went down.
Okay.
But they gave up 30 to the Commanders, who have a good passing offense with Jaden Daniels occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they gave up 27 to the Chiefs. They're the Chiefs. I don't know how they gave up 26 to the Raiders. I guess that's just an anomaly.
Didn't they lose that game?
Yeah, 26-23.
Yeah, that was stupid.
So it's like I mean, you can bash their defense all they want, but they're playing extremely good passing offenses. I'm kind of excusing them because the teams that they should dominate, they've dominated, like the Bills, and
They should have dominated the Bills.
With no Amari Cooper, they had no receivers.
Oh,
This
right.
was
That was like Josh Allen's like 9 for 31 game with like 97 yards, wasn't it? It was something bad. It was something real
It was
bad.
his 16 for 29 for 180. But I'm
Josh Allen had, I forgot what game that was.
He did. He had an awful game. I forget.
That might have been, was that a Jets game? Was there a Jets game?
Did they play they did play the Jags. I think it was it the Jags? No, he had a very good game.
Check the Jets game. I think it was the Jets one.
Was it the Jets game? When they won 20. Oh, I think this might be it. No, 19 for 25.
No. I don't think they played the Texans.
Oh, was it the Texans?
Did they play the Texans?
Oh, it was the Texans.
Okay.
9 for 30, 131 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Is that better or worse than C.J. Stroud's
2 interception game with the loss?
No, but when his game against the
yeah, he did have a stinker.
It was like 10 for 24 for like 87 yards. What is it?
It's like
10 for 21, 86 yards, no touchdowns or picks.
I want someone to go back and just like maybe in like 10 years, just read Caleb Williams' first game stats. It was so horrendous.
And the fact that they scored
and they won. It was like
they scored. How many points did they score?
It was like all.
They scored 24 points with no offensive touchdown. Yeah, he went 14 for 29 for 93 yards.
Yeah, and how many, like 2 picks or something?
No, he didn't throw any picks. That was Will Levis bailing them out by throwing that stupid interception.
With oh my God, with him on his knees and his hands behind his head, dude.
I'm so glad that he's back.
Over my King Mason Rudolph.
Yes.
Whatever.
I want more memes.
So that was our matchup, not matchup breakdown, but the past weeks for the Ravens and the Steelers in their season coming into this game. Matchup predictor puts the game at 61% to Baltimore and 38.5% to the Steelers. Where do you take that? Is that kind of where your head's at?
Yeah, I would honestly.
Do you not view this as a 50-50 toss up?
I would put this more as like a 58-42-ish. Oh. Maybe along the lines of a 55-45.
You don't see a 1% chance for a tie?
No.
Me neither.
I don't see a tie.
No, there shouldn't be allowed to be ties.
No, there really shouldn't. That's stupid.
So we have Hamilton and Lamar as questionable.
Yeah, but
they're
gonna play.
And then Van Jefferson and Jaylen Warren is questionable.
Will they even miss Van Jefferson?
Yeah,
I mean, like
dude,
he's a nice rotational guy, but like you have Calvin Austin who's been playing well. Of course, you've got George who's playing well, and now you've got Mike Williams who has now lamented himself in the Steelers team.
Wow, they killed the Ravens killed Denver.
Yeah, 41-10.
Yeah, I'm looking at the last 5 for the Steelers. They're on a 4-game heater, and the Ravens are also 4-1 in their last 5, but they went win loss win.
They are 7 of their last 8.
Wow. And this is in Pittsburgh. It'll be 55 degrees. I don't think there's going to be any rain. I'll actually check my weather app. This is funny.
Whoa.
Saturday, Sunday, no, there's not supposed to be rain. Just supposed to be cooler weather, probably a gray day, which is just classic for Pittsburgh, especially in November. The Steelers are listed as the underdogs, obviously, as we talked about with their percentage. I'm trying to figure out the lines for them. It is Pittsburgh plus 145, which I think changed since what we did. I don't think it was 145. It might have been 140 or 160 or something. Pittsburgh plus 145, and the total points scored is 48.5. I believe I took Steelers over and you took Ravens over.
I'm gonna.
You
check.
have your.
I have it. I'll check really quickly.
I don't know if that's what I took, but that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna take Steelers over.
I took. The over under changed.
It wasn't 48.5.
It was 47.5 on Wednesday.
Okay, and it bumped up.
Bumped it up. So now that makes it better because I took Ravens under 48.5.
Oh really? Oh okay. I see.
That makes it better for me.
I think. Here's the thing. So 28.5 is if you. I know 25 is not what people score, but if both teams get 25, which is you can't do it, but essentially 4 touchdowns.
You can do it, but it's hard.
Yeah, like if both teams get 4 touchdowns, or one team gets 5, another team gets 3 or 4, whatever. I think that overall, Baltimore has a very good offense, and they have a decent defense. I think their defense is going to be able to combat this, what the Steelers want to do on offense. So the Steelers like to run the ball and develop play action and throw short and then take some shots deep. I think the way that you would beat the Ravens defense is going for the deep ball a lot more.
Okay.
Kyle Hamilton does really well at covering the intermediate range. You know, he's not going to bail 40 yards down the field and take away the center of the field. He's going to be trying to be more of in the box guy. For your safety, I know they have the rookie that we've talked about a lot because he's really good. Clemson, Nate Wiggins.
Nate Wiggins.
Yeah, excuse me. Andrew Wiggins is the basketball player. Nate Wiggins out of Clemson, who has been really good in his rookie year. Probably would be in my top 5 for rookie of the year. He's not going to win it, but he'd be in my top 5.
But I mean, if you get Nate Wiggins lined up on George Pickens, throw it to George Pickens.
Well, I mean, if you get, I think even with Marlon Humphrey, because Marlon Humphrey has gotten.
I think Marlon Humphrey's a whole lot more of a physical. Corner.
Yeah, but he's gotten beat by George a lot in the past.
Yeah, but I like even if because Nate Wiggins is such a small corner.
Yeah.
And
how small? Like 5'10"?
No, he's shorter than that.
Really? I didn't know
he
that.
is Nate Wiggins is.
He ran fast.
Oh, never mind. He's 6'1". Okay, I thought he was like 5'9".
I thought he was taller. I thought he was like.
But he's only 182. Like he's skinny.
Okay. 182 skinny? No way.
He by far.
182 is skinny.
In terms of corners.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, they got Trey. Oh, you did tell me they got Trey White.
Yeah. Oh, I actually ended up forgetting about that. But I don't.
He's 5'11". He's kind of short.
Trey White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marlon Humphrey's 6'203". Like he's a pound. He's 20 pounds heavier and he's shorter.
Yeah. Yeah. He's more stocky.
He's at least 10 pounds lighter than the next corner.
Yeah, he's more stocky. I get it.
Nate Wiggins is small.
I think Marlon Humphrey has lapses in coverage, though. I think that's where you see because he can be very good, but I also think that he's one of those guys that has a tendency to get dusted, and most of the other guys in the NFL, the good corners like PS2 and Sauce, and I know this is going to be a crazy third name, but JPJ,
you're so biased.
I know, but here's the thing: just because this is what I'm going to say, they are very, very, very clean in coverage, and they are almost always stuck to their man. But it's because they might get penalties. They might get flagged. I think Marlon Humphrey won't get the flags as much, but he will get burnt more than taking a 30, 40-yard pass interference penalty.
Okay.
So based on I want to hear your thoughts on the Ravens and the Steelers season so far, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the game.
So you just want me to do like a quick?
Well, because I feel like I've done most of the talking. I want to hear you talk.
All right. Well, I mean, as we've been saying, going forward for the Steelers, that was a massive win last week, and if they can pull this game out, absolutely massive because again, they're going into the, I would say, hardest schedule left in the NFL. And then looking forward for the Ravens, they have to play the Steelers again, and then the Eagles.
As like a primary matchup.
And then they play the Texans.
Yeah.
So. But they play the Chargers, whom they should beat, the Giants, whom they should beat, and then the Browns. So at minimum, I think the Ravens should finish with at least 10 wins. So if they drop this game, maybe they might not win the division. If the Steelers win this game, are you ready to call them a contender?
Is that your question to me, or you just
that's your question? That's my question to you.
Because I was going to ask you the same one. I think if they win this game, and then they make it close or keep it close, whatever, with the Chiefs on Christmas, or even win, I'm ready to say they could do it.
I think if they win this game, and you're right, if they keep it close,
because you think there's absolutely zero chance they beat the Chiefs.
I think they could definitely beat the Chiefs.
Okay, well then you said they keep it close. I said if they keep it close or win.
You look at my Bucks. Are you come on? Like we had no receivers.
Yeah.
And we went to overtime and we lost on a coin flip.
And the Chiefs just barely beat the Broncos on
a blocked field goal.
Yeah, on some
like this Chiefs
magic.
Team is beatable. It's just someone has to do it. Which is I think you took the Chiefs on Sunday. I think I took the Bills.
Oh yeah. I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Because this Chiefs team is definitely beatable.
That's what I see. I'm with you, but what is it about them?
It's their defense.
I understand.
Their defense is playing well.
Yeah, because that's like I think that's why the people say that the Steelers are so scary. It's because like always the problem was is they couldn't find out the offensive struggles, and now you're seeing that the offense can put up 30 points a game consistently, and you're like, oh, maybe they are. They have both
4
sides
straight
figured out.
games with more than 26 points.
Yeah. I am hopefully optimistic about this game. What do you so give me your rundown of how you think the game will go, and then we'll do like the points and then the
Okay.
yeah.
I think we're gonna see another clean game from Lamar Jackson. I'm thinking north of 75% completion percentage, around 240 passing yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. I think Derrick Henry's going to get one, probably close to 100, if not over 100 rushing yards. And I think that Mark Andrews is definitely going to have a touchdown. And I think we talked about on Wednesday, they're going to get Deontay involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
that is because we have a former we're 2 former Steelers playing against their former team.
Mollett.
No, Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott.
Oh, former Steelers against Ravens.
Against the Ravens, and one
Okay.
one more former Steeler against the Ravens.
2.
Wait.
Arthur Mollett was a Steeler.
Was he? I don't even know who that is. But I'm not a diehard Steelers fan, so.
Yeah, no, he was like a third or whatever corner. He was like James Pierre.
Why do you know that?
Because Arthur Mollett was low-key a guy. I'm gonna be honest. Arthur Mollett had that strap on him. Just so everyone out there knows, Arthur Mollett is no one to play about.
Oh, we got an Arthur Mollett fan.
Yeah,
here.
dude. My
Get him on the show.
That was what's a really funny story that I had in my my vault. Whenever I was, I don't know, 15 or 16 or something. Oh, no. I was younger. Give me like 13 or 14. I was around that.
I'll give you 12.
Okay. I was in to the Steelers, obviously. And it was my birthday, I think. And my uncle asked me what I wanted for my birthday. And then he asked my dad. My uncle asked my dad. My dad asked me. And I told my dad I wanted an Antoine Blake Bumblebee jersey.
Who is Antoine Blake?
Exactly.
I'll have to look up Antoine Blake.
Antoine Blake was a corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He wore number 41, and me and my buddy Jacob absolutely adored him.
Why?
Just because it was Antoine Blake, dude. That was just the thing. Was Antoine Blake.
Antoine Valentino Blake.
Yep, I followed him on Instagram. I tuned into all of his Instagram lives.
He was a UDFA.
Yeah, dude. He also sucked. But look up Antoine Blake's career highlights. He has a fake punt that he caught, like literally the James Pierre play, exactly that. But he caught it and mossed some dude, and I think he had a pick 6 one time. Antoine Blake.
He had his first career interception against Andrew Luck.
He's a dog, dude. I'm telling you, Antoine Blake was a guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and
his pick 6 was against Phillip Rivers, 70 yards.
Yeah, look at his fake punt. His fake punt was sick.
Are
you watching a video on it right now?
No, I'm just on his Wikipedia page. He had 3 career interceptions, 1 touchdown, 2 forced fumbles, 2 recovered fumbles, 185 tackles, 1 sack.
Yeah, elite. If I would have gotten if I would have had his jersey, dude, that's like one of the most elite jerseys of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like one of them bubble jerseys that says like Markeith Morris and then like prison reform or whatever the heck else, like from the bubble when they put on their own social justice, whatever's causes that they wanted to support.
Markeith Morris, what a pull!
I know, but so I wanted his jersey, and something got lost in translation from my dad to my uncle, and I got a Bumblebee Antonio Brown jersey.
Oh, that's
so much better. Yeah, it's so much better.
Oh no, I got a Antonio Brown jersey.
And it's like actually stitched, and it's the Bumblebee jersey, and it has like a patch, like the 50th anniversary patch. I'm like, dude, this jersey's tough. I was like, because like, could you imagine like now and this the thing is like, I don't know what in my right mind made me ask for that jersey or maybe.
No, I completely understand that because you get attached to certain players.
Yeah, do you have a guy?
I don't know.
Because you're just a Baker follower. You're not an NFL guy. I was a Steeler guy my whole life. So I had Antoine. Antoine Blake was my guy. And Cam Newton. I have a Cam Newton jersey. I have an Eric Berry jersey.
Who didn't have a Cam Newton jersey?
And I have a Odell Beckham jersey. Those are my only 4 football jerseys that I have.
I've never had a jersey. I had jersey shirts.
I have a bunch of hockey jerseys too. I got like Brendan Gallagher.
Don't know who that is.
Yeah, you don't know any of the hockey guys.
I don't watch hockey.
Fair enough. So, man, this has just been all over the place, huh? I was trying to kill time because we're low key about to get into our game preview and stuff, or like our game.
Well.
And then but like we're about to do it, and I'm like, man, we had like 15 minutes. I was like, oh, we got a lot of time to kill for this hour. So now I'm gonna give my thoughts. I think Lamar will tear the Steelers' defense apart in some sort of capacity. I would be remiss not to mention that the Steelers are 7-1 in their last 8. I don't think that matters because the Steelers have not played against the Ravens. Plus Lamar, the way he's playing this year, I know he was an MVP the past prior years, but this is like a different version. He's like way crazy. Plus Derrick Henry in the same offense. Plus the way that Zay Flowers is playing, like he's one of the top 20 receivers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Bateman is playing, I think, better. He just gets better every year, but he's still like not great. He just gets better every year.
Yeah.
Plus Deontay Johnson, whatever he can do. Plus Andrews and Likely and their defense with Roquan Smith, who is obviously second. I know he's not 1B to Fred Warner because Fred Warner is just the best.
Yeah, Fred Warner's.
But he's a closer second than I think people would believe. And
Mhm.
Kyle Hamilton's an All-Pro guy, and
yeah, I mean
it's the thing. It's like the Steelers they just have that serum in them against Baltimore, and there's just something about this game that the Steelers tend to do good in. Typically, it is a low-scoring game. I think the one that I remember was the Najee Harris touchdown
from
with
Kenny
like
Pickett.
16-10.
Yeah, from Kenny Pickett. Yeah. And everybody thought Kenny Pickett was going to be like really good after that.
Wow.
Well, no, we see how that turned out.
Yeah. So the 48.5, 47.5, whatever. I took the over. I think that's on the basis that
Baltimore can put up points, and the Steelers have recently been putting up points.
Exactly. But I think Russ has the composure that's needed to win this game. This is a huge game.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming off of playing in a big game. So is Baltimore, but they've had 10 days off. You could look at that if you're a Ravens fan and say they've had 10 days to prepare for the Steelers, and that's good. Or if you're the Steelers fan, you can look at it and say they've had 10 days of resting. They're not going to be ready to take us on. Obviously, they don't just rest. They're preparing and they're practicing and whatever else. But 10 days without playing, 10 days in between playing a game, you might have something go on. I'm not sure. I'm not an NFL player, but
yeah, and I think the Steelers are going to get this is a short week though, isn't it? Because they got it. They're playing. They play the Browns
Sunday, and then they played Sunday, and then they're playing this Sunday, and then they're playing the Thursday game or something.
Yeah. So after this game,
they're playing Thursday night next week.
In Cleveland.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
And that their stretch with the Wednesday game and the Christmas stuff. They've got the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, they play.
They got the Ravens, Chiefs, and Eagles in like a 10-day span.
Yeah, Eagles on the 15th, Ravens on the 21st, Chiefs on the 15th.
Yeah, 25th.
25th.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a 10-day span of 3 games and all 3 of the teams are like contenders for the Super Bowl.
And then their last game of the season is against the Bengals.
And that's what we said is that if the Steelers this is like the Steelers preview for the playoffs, They're getting a taste of exactly what they're going to have to do to win playoff games, and I think that's good because you're not walking in on a cupcake, you're walking in playing against the best of the best, and so you know what the best are going to do.
Yeah.
But as far as for my like overall score prediction and my thoughts on the game, this is so tough. Because I took the Steelers. I'm going to go 31-27 because I underrate field goals, and field goals happen. 31-27 for the Steelers over the Ravens. I think you're going to see the run game start for the Steelers, as they always do for some stupid reason. I think it'll back them up a little bit because the Ravens know what's going to happen, and they're going to get turned up, and the Steelers might have a slow start. but they're going to have some sort of deep ball or some sort of penalty or a sack fumble. Something's going to happen that's going to like change the momentum in Acrisure. The Steelers are going to roll a little bit, probably get ahead to like a 17-7 lead, or scratch that. It'll be a 17-7 lead for the Ravens. Then coming out into the second half, they've been so good in the third quarter. They're going to continue that, get back 14-17 or 21-17, something like that. And then in the fourth quarter, cap it off with a touchdown and a field goal to win it or something. And then the Ravens are going to have their little attempted to come back, but they're going to fall short because, I don't know, TJ Watt gets a strip sack or Preston Smith does something fun. I'm expecting TJ Watt to do something. I want to like get this in really quickly. TJ Watt is a front runner for DPOY this year, and they're calling it a fraud award because he leads in pressures or like double team rate or something, but he has like 6.5 sacks, and everyone's like, why is he first? This is stupid, whatever. And then everyone in the comments is like, okay, so sacks now matter, but when he had 22.5 or whenever he had 20 last year.
He has 6.5. He is, tied for first in forced fumbles, though. He's got 4 of them. But he has 6.5 sacks.
His double team rate and his pressure rate and his quarterback hits. He has a bunch of stats where there's like a lot of good stats.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't have like the sack total that he normally has. But in the comments, they're like, okay, so last year when he led the league in sacks and had 20 and then didn't win Defensive Player of the Year, what's up with that? And then
the sack leaders right now are Trey Hendrickson with 11. Dexter Lawrence with 9, Dante Fowler with 8.5, Will McDonald with 8, and then I can't believe that Aiden Hutchinson is
still
5th.
there.
He's 5th at 7.5.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a down year in terms of sacks.
Sacks in general. Yeah. So I got 31-27. What do you have?
I have 24-16 Ravens.
That's probably a lot more in the
Realistic?
realm of a lot more in the realm of what'll happen.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that. So who do you think is like the big performers? Is it obviously you're going to say Lamar? Is it Lamar's legs as well, or just? I know you said this over 75% completion plus 240 yards.
I think it's just going to be a solid game for the Ravens as a whole. I don't think that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot like they've been doing. I think that they're just going to play a clean and just a nice game for the Ravens. I think that. We haven't kind of seen Russell Wilson struggle very much yet. I'm kind of predicting that he does it here. Maybe this Ravens secondary kind of figures it out. Maybe that Russell Wilson, maybe he makes some errant throws sometimes, and as of right now, he's only thrown 1 pick. Maybe he gets 2 picked off, maybe on like a tip or something in the first quarter, and he gets a little frazzled. Maybe something like that happens. That's just kind of what I'm predicting. So.
Oh, that's kind of a bad line. I'm with you. I am building out my parlay right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where you're coming from in terms of the low-scoring game, because that's kind of how they always go, and that's how the AFC North is that they just play really good defensive football, except for the Bengals and Ravens game. But in the Cleveland and Baltimore game, it was low-scoring, and there was a lot of like different defensive plays that needed to be made for the Ravens that didn't. So I can see where you're coming from. I, for some reason, just want to think that the Steelers offense continues the roll, because I've never seen a Steelers offense produce this way since Ben left, which it's been 4 years. So to see the offense consistently doing something has been awesome, and I don't want them to diminish that. I do think that the Steelers will be well prepared for this. They always come into this game understanding who the Ravens are and knowing how much this game means to everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
And Tomlin does a good job in that sense. Tomlin's main problem is under-preparing for the bad teams, like the Cowboys and the Colts. But when it comes to the good teams, like the Commanders, and I think like this Ravens team, like the Chiefs game we're going to see later, I think the team is going to come out. They're going to understand what needs to happen and their game plan, and I think they're going to execute. Are you done with yours?
Yeah, I've all 4 of mine are rushing related.
Mine could be considered rushing related. I think I'm going to throw in a little. This is going to be a tough one to get. I'm sure that's not going to happen, but I need another one. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go same player. Can I do that or no?
I don't care.
Okay.
Go right ahead, man.
Do you want me first? I always go first. You want to go first this time?
You can go first.
Okay. Steelers over 300 and a half team yards.
Okay.
So, and this is not special teams returning. This is
offensive.
Yes. Yeah. Offensive team yards, I should say. So, because that was the big deal with Canada. They never went over 300 team yards.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do it against this good defense. Lamar Jackson under 25 and a half yards rushing.
Wow, that is really close to what mine is.
I think he gets contained. TJ Watt over 1.5 sacks. I think he'll have a multiple sack game.
Okay.
And he needs to for his depoy conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lamar Jackson, anytime touchdown.
All right. I have Jaylen Warren, anytime touchdown.
Okay.
I wanted one that I knew for sure was going to hit, and if it doesn't, I'm going to cry.
Henry.
Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
I have Russell Wilson over 7.5 rushing yards.
Oh.
And I have Lamar Jackson under 19.5 rushing yards.
19.5. Wow.
Yeah.
So you think he gets contained too?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Or I don't think he uses them as much.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, fair. But that has been our Steelers pregame show for the Sunday 1 p.m. game, AFC North rivalry matchup. It'll be a great one. Make sure you tune in to them, as well as us at WDSR Duquesne Student Radio every Wednesday and Friday, 2 to 3, coming at your ears, being entertaining and whatever else. I'm Christian Bartoletti alongside my co-host.
Ben Gianetta.
Thank you guys for listening. Have a great day.